Afternoon all. The sun is shining, unlike yesterday, which it was horrendous. Anyway, I am out with the RX-10 and I've just come to a churchyard, a place called St Nicholas, near Sandhurst in Kent, and driven past it loads and loads of times in the past. It's down a tiny little country lane, and I just thought places like this are fantastic for wildlife, and just general countryside stuff. Plus they're quite fascinating, you know, the architecture of the church itself, and then you've got the history, people who have lived before us, and you know, the wildlife. That's just, there's a butterfly just landed right on one of these gravestones. I'll try and get it. It's sitting in the sun. There we go. Open. Oh, you bugger. It closed its wings, hence why I was trying to spot focus. Oh no, it's landed on this one now. Ooh. So this place is on a real high mound as such of land, and the views, which I'm going to take you down to one of them, looking across the vineyard by the looks of it, is incredible. But you have got other wildlife here as well, as you can see. Badger, I think, but lots of bird activity. And a couple of here. Oh, so there's 4 of these graves here, which are a World War One military grave, and there's one over by the main entrance. The church warden was telling me that the person who was in that grave, he served the First World War and then came home and got some kind of flu and died. So he served his country and then yeah, didn't anymore. The view across here is amazing. So annoyingly the sun's gone in where I am, but look at that, as a view is pretty awesome. So I'm going to jump to the RX-10 and have a look a bit closer at some of the stuff in the distance. But there we go. Yeah, awesome. So you can see here the photos have the amount of zoom, shutter speed, ISO and f-stop I was using. I find churchyards, churches and everything fascinating. I'm not hugely religious or anything like that, but I just find the old buildings, the graveyards, through the year, they can look absolutely awesome, really interesting, and you know, generally the wildlife there as well is quite cool. So we can see a lot in a small space, and over a period of time you can sit on a bench, just relax, and even read the gravestones. I find interesting some of the dates on them and things, and think, wow, that person lived 200, 300, 400, 500 years ago or whatever. It just makes you wonder what life was like. Anyway, these photos are just obviously snaps while I was there, so you can kind of see what the camera settings I was using. But yeah, not bad light. It was quite a nice day, to be fair. Just waiting for it to get its satellites, which it's done. 22. That's
home point updated.
Format the card. So it's one thing I always do. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. Every day that I go out, and I'm filming. So if I go out and do 3 or 4 different places, and when I go home, I will then back up the footage onto separate hard drives, whatever. But every time I go out, same with my normal cameras as well, I will actively make sure I format the card every single time. You're less likely to ever have a card malfunction if you do that every time. So there we go, and I've done it for years.
Take off. Home point updated.
So utilising the Air 3S and its 2 cameras, I flew over the church, and the light was lovely. Got nice. The shadows are getting longer now because the sun's getting lower in the sky. And flying across, there's the 5-bladed windmill over there in the distance, which I'm heading towards now. I didn't fly right over to it. I went about 600 meters across the fields there, mainly because I was coming towards a built-up area with obviously lots of people, houses, and whatnot. So obviously you have to be a little bit careful. But utilizing the 3 times zoom on the Air 3S in a minute. So I go over those pylons there, which I knew were there. So I've gone up high. So I'm around about 100 meters up and just flew towards it in a straight line. I thought I really need to do that again at some point. Um, you know, but yeah, it's a wicked view from up there. It's not high as a really high mound, but it gives you a bit of height across the countryside. You can see, I could even see the sea the other way, which must be 20 miles inland. But there you go. Look at that. It's quite a cool view. And then I did a bit of a backing out shot over the top of the church there, and through 2 trees, or above the 2 trees. But you've almost got like a V in there, which looked really cool. So there we go. Just did a quick fly around. So the cool thing about the Air 3S is it's 258 meters away. It's up in the skies in between these 2 trees, and I can clearly see it. Absolutely clearly see it. And it, unlike the Mini 3, Mini 4, Mini 5 Pro, it will be hard to see in the sky, and this thing is so easy to see. There she comes. Done. So that was really cool. So I had a quick look inside the church and took a few photos. Photos range in settings, which you've just seen on screen, and quite a bit of noise reduction added, and also just color correction and stuff like that, because the light coming through the windows and stuff was causing a little bit of issue with the white balance. So a few little shots here, one looking straight down the church, keeping it balanced. A little bit of noise reduction when I pull the shadows up and everything like that. So it's difficult trying to get the light coming through the windows correctly and the shade in the building itself. So this one I really like. The color and everything worked really nicely. But again, had to do a little bit of correction and noise reduction in post. So here are a few more shots, and as you can see, I'm not perfect. This needs a little bit of a rotation. It's not quite perfect on the verticals. I am slightly off center, so that is going to not help. But I was trying to get the door through the gravestones there. A gravestone here, more of a raised coffin. I'm not sure what you'd call that. But the settings of each shot are here, as you can see up on the top. Just thought I'd give you a little bit of help. I mean, every day is different. The light is always going to be different, but it gives you a kind of rough idea on what I was doing. Mr. Ladybird and about 5,000 others, which I got bitten by a couple, I think. They were everywhere, and yeah, a bit more wildlife to come in part 2, so hang around for that one. That will be coming soon. Looking straight up between the 2 corner bits there of the wall, a bit of a couldn't go quite high enough because unfortunately I couldn't reach, but there's a doorway on the right hand side. I love this leaning gravestones, but with all the interesting dates and names and stuff on there. I think it's fascinating. Shooting into the shade with a bit of light in the background. This shot here was heavily edited, I would say. Boosted the shadows massively. I exposed to the sky and then pulled up the shadows. And it works quite well, to be fair. A little bit of noise reduction. Right, this shot here kind of needed a bit of a tweak, as in I needed to recompose, which I did do. But this shot reminded me of a shot that I took when I was about 11 or 12 at school, with an old Russian film camera, when we just walked around the school grounds and just found interesting things to photograph. And it just took me back a little bit, and I just thought, do you know what? That needs to be black and white, a bit grainy. There we go. Anyway, see you in part two for a little bit of wildlife that I found.